That's right, Pika. We're talking about Star Trek, the motion picture. Hello, it's Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you burn your fingers, then that's on you, okay? Star Trek, the motion picture. Released December 6th, 1979. I had just turned 7 years old the month before. And I saw it at the movie theater. And I received from that the first McDonald's Happy Meal. The first tie-in with the quote-unquote boys' toy. I don't remember what the girls' toy was, but it was a Star Trek the Motion Picture Happy Meal. And I remember getting one at least. Oh gosh, I remember the other one too. I got one at the Children's Museum by the harbor. They had a McDonald's on the first floor. The other one I remember getting at the Old Arches on Gallivan Boulevard in Dorchester. I remember the Happy Meal toy that came with it. One of it was an iron-on of the stylized new Starfleet logo, and it had a prism effect to it as well. That ended up on a blue T-shirt. I was always a Spock. This is true. And the second toy was this little yellow piece of plastic that looked like a communicator. You opened it up, and it had a scroll of paper that you insert inside with a cartoon panels that you can manually change the display. It might have been a tricorder, but that was and I forget too what was the art on that. I'll have to look that up. But I got the first two McDonald's Happy Meals. You can look this up. That's bona fide. Star Trek the Motion Picture was the first movie tie-in McDonald's Happy Meal. And it was going into 1980. I was going into the future. And we all know that later on in a few more months, The Empire Strikes Back comes out. So it was a really, really good time to be 7 years old, neck deep in Star Trek, Star Wars, and Battlestar Galactica, and Space 1999, and Buck Rogers, and in a couple of more months would be coming out Flash Gordon. The Flash Gordon with the Queen music. But I'm rambling here. In defense of Star Trek the Motion Picture, though, it gets a lot of flack. It really does. But come on. The sheer level of nerd porn it took with that long opening shot, flying in Kirk and Scotty to the new refitted, Constitution class, Starfleet vessel. No, that's two. But really, I'll put this back. Let me get back to it. That's called an Eagle Moss. They're very high quality reproductions and models for collectors. There's also an XL version of that I'm thinking of upgrading. But yes, I was 7 years old, and this was an amazing movie. It was huge. It beguiled me. And it really ages well, in my humble opinion. It gets a lot of flack because it is slow. It is boring. It's a pacifist movie, seriously. The only shot fired in anger is by the Klingons in the beginning, in the opening of Act 1. I mean, the photon for torpedo was fired to break the wormhole, yes. But there were no shots fired in anger by Kirk or by anyone. It was a scientific voyage. I felt it really took the vibe, the tone of the show, and adapted it into that big screen form. And I'm saying this as a 40-something fan watching this last year. Just being amazed by it. And how the travel into V'ger in itself is its own 2001 A Space Odyssey type of homage. And just the impact, and realizing the impact that between the show and this motion picture, that 2001 happened and left its impact on sci-fi. But But yeah, it's Star Trek the Motion Picture. It's a slow burn. It's a pacifist movie. And the other pacifist Star Trek movie is Star Trek For the Voyage Home, where there are no shots fired in anger, I believe. There's a harpoon fired at a whale that a cloaked Klingon bird of prey deflects. That's pretty much all I remember for when it comes in. Chekhov tried to use his phaser, the radiation, and on the Enterprise, and that's about it. So, but Star Trek the Motion Picture, if you can check it out, do it. I'm going to be investing in the 4K Blu-ray that's coming out. Its director's cut is coming out. So it's going to look at its finest. It's going to sound at its finest. And there's just a lot to it. I advise you, check it out. Enjoy the sets. Enjoy the pastels of the colors, of the uniforms. I like the aesthetic to it. There's a lot of great detail, and it's so very Star Trek. It's about exploration, and it's about science, and it's about wonder. And you know what? Live long and prosper. And if you like this content, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like what I had to say, you hate Star Trek the Motion Picture, give me a thumbs down. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Leave a comment in the comment section if you'd be so kind. And give me a subscribe if you can. Cheers. Thank you so very much. In infinite diversity are infinite combinations. And that is Star Trek. Thank you.